Hi, in this video I'm going to discuss about material costing. I divided the chapter into three. First one is about cost related to raw material and EOQ calculation. The second one is about stock levels. The final one is about store ledger and raw material issue. First of all, I'm going to discuss about the cost related to raw material and the EOQ calculation. Okay, let's start with the first part of the chapter, which is the cost related to the raw material and the EOQ calculation. So let's assume a business who is manufacturing ice cream cups and they have two customers, customer A and B. Their requirements are 20,000 units for an year and 30,000 units for an year. And for each unit, it requires 1.5 units of raw material. So what the business will do is, business will request this number of raw material because they need 50,000 quantity from the customers. Each require 1.5 unit of raw material. Then what they will do is, the business will require 75,000 units of raw material from its supplier. Let's assume the business is requesting 75,000, the entire 75,000 units from the supplier in one slot. So what they will do is, the business is just make a call to its supplier and get the order ready. Let's assume the supplier is from some other country and they are sending the goods to the business. So how many times they're going to send? They're going to send only once, because this business is requesting entire 75,000 raw material from its supplier in one slot. So if they do so, their cost of ordering is less. Generally, raw material or the material costing related to the two type of cost or two part of cost, which are ordering cost and holding cost. So the ordering cost means the cost for an order, or let's say the total cost to make the order. And holding cost mean once they receive the goods from the supplier, the cost related to store the goods in their warehouse. So in this scenario, we're going to make only one order. So once they receive how many units, we're going to receive how many units? We're going to receive 75,000 units. Once they receive 75,000 units, we're going to store entire 75,000 units in our warehouse. So let's take this an example, and we're going to calculate these two costs, which are related to the raw material. This business I already explained, or I already told, this is just now started. So they don't mind about this cost, they just wanted to satisfy their customers. So let's assume supplier is sending 75,000 units, right? So ordering cost equals to number of orders into cost per order. So number of orders is 1. So cost per order means the transportation cost, the communication cost, and all the costs related to the order. It is for the order, not for the quantity. So let's assume we are having a cost of 1,000. The total cost or total ordering cost is 1,000 into 1, again 1,000, right? Now holding cost. So now we received 75,000 units of raw material, which we have to hold or which we have to store in our warehouse. It means we need a huge space. And this holding cost is something related to the holding or storing or warehousing cost, which includes rent for the warehouse, the security cost, any cost related to the warehousing. So the holding cost equals to holding cost per unit into Q. So I'll explain this Q later. right? So let's assume my holding cost per unit is 3. Per unit it costs 3 rupees. Now Q. In this scenario, we are receiving how many units? 75,000 units. That is what we call as Q. Let's assume this company gonna make 10 slot of orders or 10 different orders. Each order will consist only 7,500 units. It means this would be 7,500. When we are receiving 75,000 units in the first day, how are we going to do? We're going to store that entire thing in our warehouse, and next day we're going to move, or we're going to transfer, let's say 3,000 units to the production. The next day again 3,000, then after 3 days after we may transfer again 6,000 or something like that. Therefore, we are taking this an average. It means this Q will be divided by 2. Means like if day 1 has 75,000 and day 10 has 0, and we are getting the average using this one, this formula. So quantity will be divided by 2 because of this reason. Because we are not going to store entire 75,000 units for the entire days. Yes? So 3 into 75,000 divided by 2, and we'll get the answer. Right? In this example, my ordering cost is less. Why? Because I made only one order. My holding cost is high because I'm gonna hold entire 75,000 units, maybe divided by 2 for the 1 year until I finish the requirement from these customers. So after this, the business are planning to work around or to get a solution for these issues, because they are fine with the ordering cost, but they had the issue with the holding cost. So they planned to have one store which have the capacity of only 10,000 units of raw material warehouse. Means they can only store maximum of 10,000. Now they can't make the order for 75,000. Why? Because if they're gonna make order for 75,000 units, they need to rent out another place. They need to rent out another place to store the additional quantity. So what they will do is they're gonna split this entire 75,000 units into the slots and will make the order. So now what will happen? If that happens, number of orders will increase. Number of orders will be, maybe if they are splitting these 75,000 into 10, so number of orders will be 10. So 10 orders, again 1,000, because that is cost per one order, so 10,000. Here I'm gonna have not 75,000 units, I'm gonna have only only maybe 10,000 or 7,500 units in one order, in one slot. So my holding cost will be less. So this is how the business works. Still, it is not about economic order quantity. It is about the standard business works. So this quantity, the quantity which they are ordering, is what we call as reorder quantity. It is not economic order quantity, it is reorder quantity. So reorder quantity means the number of units which has in each slot. So let's have the second example, right? Again, the demand, they need 75,000 raw material. The demand is 75,000 raw material. And they are planning to have 10 orders. They are planning to have 10 orders, right? The cost per order is same. Cost per order, we already had 1,000, and holding cost per unit is how much? 3, right? So now I want to find my total ordering cost and my total holding cost. So total ordering cost, I'm going to have orders of 10 and my cost per order is 1000. So my total ordering cost is 10,000. Total holding cost, my cost per unit is 3. I'm gonna hold how many units? My requirement is 75,000 raw material and I gotta make 10 orders. So each slot or each order will have 7,500, which is meant as what? The reorder quantity. So 7,500 divided by 2. Why divided by 2? Because I'm not going to have entire 7,500 for 1 year, right? So 7,500 divided by 2 into 3. So some value, right? So this is what we call our total cost, right? So this is how the business works. They have a holding cost, they have ordering cost, and this holding and ordering cost have a negative relationship. So let's have a summary of this. A normal business who has a request from the customers to make some product. In this scenario, they are making ice cream cups and they need 75,000 units of raw material. At the first stage, at the very early stage, they are ordering the entire 75,000 units from a supplier to make the ordering cost less. They didn't think about the holding cost. They didn't think about how they're going to store the quantity. They just made the order because since the supply is some other countries, it is good for them. It is easy for them to get the entire thing from the supplier. Yes. So what happened? They received 75,000 units. Then they thought about the storing. They had the issue because they're going to have a massive space to store the entire quantity. Then later, they came up with the idea to create a capacity for their store, which is 10,000 units. Now they're going to plan accordingly. So what they did is, they did like this, like 75,000 units. They decided to have 10 different orders. It means each slot will have only 7,500 units. It means you're going to store only 7,500 units. After it is finished, they will make the second order. Or like once it is reached to the specific level, they will make the second order because they don't wait until it is finished, right? Because if that happened, what is the issue? If they wait until the quantity finish, what is the issue? So these workers, these employees will be idle. I mean, you are paying salary to them. They will not have any raw material to make the product. Yes. So no one will wait until the last moment. They will make the orders to some level, at some point. So that we will discuss later. But now for this scenario, for this example, they have 75,000. They plan for 10 orders and cost per order is 1,000 and holding cost per unit is 3. So I calculate these two. Total ordering cost, we have 10 orders, each order cost is 1,000, so 10,000. Total holding cost, I need cost per unit is 3, the holding cost per unit is 3, and I'm going to hold only 7,500 because I have my maximum will be only 7,500 because I am making 10 orders. So 7,500 I'm not storing the entire 7,500 for 1 year. So 7,500 divided by 2 because to get the average. So I'm getting my holding cost, which is maybe some decimal figure. Then I get the total cost. So now I'm going to talk about how they're going to manage these costs, because we know that if my ordering cost increased, my holding cost will decrease, because if I make more number of orders, my ordering cost will increase, but my holding cost will be less. Why? Because I'm gonna hold only small quantity. If my ordering cost is less, means if I make only one order to get the entire thing, the entire raw material, my ordering cost will be less, but I'm gonna hold entire unit. mean I need more space, I need more rent, I need to pay more rent for the warehouse. It means my holding cost will be high. So it has a negative relationship. How we gonna mitigate this? Because if I gonna mitigate, if I gonna reduce my ordering cost, my holding cost will increase. If I reduce my holding cost, my ordering cost will decrease, or ordering cost will increase. Sorry. So now they have to come up with an idea to reduce not these cost, not ordering and holding cost, but to reduce the total cost. Here only we're gonna start discussing about economic order quantity. So who will think about economic order quantity? Only the business who is doing their business very stable, not a business who just started. They don't mind about these things. Because they have to think about their sales first. They have to they wanted to satisfy their customer. They want to compare the purchasing price and the selling price, not the additional cost related to the purchase. Yes, now after this, we're going to have one example related to the ordering cost and holding cost. Later, I'm going to introduce the economic order quantity from this example. I mean, how they are moving to economic order quantity from their the basic style of the management or basic way of doing their purchasing. I have shared your question to calculate holding cost and ordering cost. Hope you guys have tried the question. So this is about economic order quantity. As per the example we had earlier, the company has recruited a management accountant to calculate the economic order quantity to find the least total cost. Total cost means the total ordering cost plus the total holding cost. To calculate that, the management accountant came with this solution to fill the table and find the total cost and get an idea about it to find the least total cost. So I'll explain the first line and I quickly fill the other different scenarios he came up with, the number of orders. You also can try it, so we can fill the table and we'll get some findings from the table. Yes. So if you take the first line, if the number of order is 4 and your annual demand is 2,400, yes, we will have 600 quantity in one order, and your total ordering cost is equals to 4, I mean number of orders into cost per order. So 4 into 4, 10, 40. Holding cost equals to 600, not 600, yes, it is 600 divided by 2, the number of quantity in one order. We can call it as reorder quantity. 600 divided by 2, 300, 300 into 30, 90, so your total cost is 130. So likewise, I'm going to fill the entire table, so you also can try it. So once you fill the table, we'll get back with the solution or with the finding from the table. Yes? From this table, we get to know this is our least cost. Yes, so this specific. So from this line, we came up with a solution or the finding that my total cost is less, which is we call as EOQ. In this scenario, 400. The other finding, the other important point from the table is my total ordering cost equals to total holding cost. So the findings are total cost is less. That is the definition of the EOQ. And the second one, the total ordering cost should equal to total holding cost. So in EOQ, the economic order quantity, the total holding cost should equal to total ordering cost. So that is one of the methods to find the EOQ, which they don't test you in your final exam, but this is the easiest way to understand to find the EOQ. The second method is equation. Generally, we memorize the equation and just fill the equation and find the answer. But I'm just trying to explain how we get the equation here. Total ordering cost equals to total holding cost in your EOQ or at the point of EOQ. Yes, so total ordering cost equals to what? Number of orders into cost per order. Total holding cost equals to holding cost per unit into Q divided by 2. Q is the number of units which we are receiving in each order. It can be reorder quantity or EOQ. So Q is the number of units which we receive in each order. So here in this equation, number of orders. So I can write number of orders like what? I can write these like number of orders, right? So number of orders, I can write D over Q. D is 2400, Q is maybe 400. If you put 400, your number of orders is 6, right? And cost per order. So I would say this as cost per order. And here holding cost, I can put CH or HC. I put CH, cost per holding, and again Q divided by 2. So we have to find, or we have to arrive at the equation for the EOQ, which is Q here. So we have to subject Q. Yes. So how to do that? So let's remove this Q first, right? So to remove this Q, I have to multiply by Q, and this side also I have to multiply by Q. Now I'll have D into CO, CH into what? Q square, right? So I have removed 2 now. So how to remove 2? So into 2, right? So I would say into 2. So this side also into 2. So now 2DCO equals to Q square into CH, right? So 2DCO divided by CH equals to, so Q equals to 2DCO over CH divided 2DCO over CH square root. Yes, so this is how we are arriving at the equation, but you don't need to understand the way how you are finding the equation. You just have to apply the value to the equation and get the answer. Okay, now we're going to use the equation to find the answer, which should match with the same answer which we got from the table. Yes, so EOQ equals to 2DCO over CH square root. 2 into demand is 2400, ordering cost is 10, this is per order, and holding cost per unit, not the total holding cost, so 0.3. So 4800 0 divided by 0.3, which is 16,234 square root, means 400. Yes. So this is a method we normally use to find the EOQ, what you call the equation method. The table you should have an idea how you are getting the values, but generally in exam or in any other situations we are using the equation. Yes, so you should know the exact equation, which is 2DCO over CH. 2 and D is demand for the year, not for a month, not for the quarter. CO, the cost per order, and this one CH, holding cost per unit, not the total. These are not the total. These are per order and per unit. So that's the second method to find the EOQ. And the third method is the graph. So graph, so we do have 2 different graphs related to the EOQ. So I'll just try to draw both the graphs in one attempt or one picture, right? So I'll put Q here and I'll put number of orders here. right? So let's have the first line, because we do have total ordering cost and total holding cost. So I have to draw total ordering cost or total holding cost line. So let's say Q. So Q, it means the number of units in each order. So if Q increases, the number of units in each order increases, what will increase? So if the number of orders in each number of units in each order increases, what will increase? Your holding cost will increase. So holding cost goes like this, total holding cost. So if this is total holding cost, the ordering cost is negative, it goes like this. So there are some argument where the line should be what you call straight. So that doesn't matter. You should actually know what the line means, or which one is holding cost and which one is the ordering cost. And the total cost go like this, total cost. So if I mark this is my quantity, which is EOQ. Why EOQ? Because we know for the fact in EOQ, your total ordering cost equals to total holding cost. Therefore, this is the point where your total ordering cost should equals to total holding cost. So this is rupees. And this is your lesser value, which is your total, where your total cost is less, that is 120. So if you put the same thing in your number of orders, so here in x axis we have number of orders. So if number of orders increases, yes, if the number of order increases, what will happen? Your ordering cost will increase. So this is total ordering cost, and your total holding cost like this, and you will have total cost like this. So no point in explaining this with the what you call with the values, like put the values and drawing the graph, because in examination you don't need to that depth. So what you should understand is to mark the specific lines. Yeah, in this example, in this second graph, this is number of orders, right? So number of orders is 6, but the cost, this is anyway rupees, right? This is always rupees. This is 60 and this is 120. So these are two graphs we do have. These are three methods to find EOQ. So I'll give a question. You can try out the question. So once you're done with the question, we'll have the summary. So after the summary, I'll add the answers for the question at the end of the video. So this is the first part of the material costing. So after the question, I'll come up with the summary where I'll summarize the entire thing what I explained until now. Yes? So let's have the summary of what we studied. So this is the part 1, or the first part of the material costing. Yes, there are two costs related to the material costing, which are total ordering cost and total holding cost. And when a business starts its operation, it doesn't consider about EOQ. So whenever there is a request to purchase, the number of quantity they are purchasing is considered as reorder quantity. Therefore, reorder quantity is not EOQ. Yes, so first one is total ordering cost. When they are making the order, they have the cost related to the order equals to the total ordering cost equals to number of orders into cost per order. The second one is once they receive the goods or receive the raw material from the supplier, they have to store somewhere. The cost related to the storing is what we call as total holding cost. Total holding cost equals to holding cost per unit. Here ROQ divided by 2. I put EOQ as well. Why? Once the EOQ is decided, they don't mind about ROQ. Because once the EOQ is decided, they know for the fact that it's the least cost. So once they decided that, they go with the EOQ thereafter. So I put EOQ as well. So holding cost per unit into ROQ or EOQ divided by 2. Why divided by 2? Because we have to take average, because we are not going to store the entire thing for 1 year. So that is the first part of the cost related to the what you call raw material. And the second one, soon after they are stable with the business, they want to mitigate the total cost. Therefore, they come up with a solution which is called as EOQ. So EOQ is the number of units in each order to minimize the total cost. And all the EOQ should be considered as reorder quantity, because reorder quantity means the number of units you are ordering. EOQ means again number of units you are ordering, but at the least cost. And the third point you should know is the what you call the findings, right? The total cost is less, we know, and the second one is total holding cost equals to total ordering cost. Yes, so that is what we call EOQ. Then there are methods to find the EOQ. First one is a table where they don't ask much about the table, but you should know how you are finding from the table. And the second one is the equation, which is very important. The equation is 2DCO over CA square root. D is demand for the year, not for a month, not for the quarter. CO is ordering cost per order, and this one is holding cost per unit. And third one is graph. Graph, we do have two graphs. One is based on the quantity, so you have to check x-axis. The first one is quantity and the second one is order. Based on that, your graph lines would vary. Now, this is the summary of the first part of the what you call material costing chapter. So after this, I will just add the answers for the question I had. So that's it. We'll have the next session or the part or the second part of the raw material with the next video. Thank you very much.